Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rinse at a time, back with his good friend Dion from Dion Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, doing great. I think if we did this video on my channel and we edited it, it would be fun to play the 3 different characters.
Well, we could do that if you want. I don't mind. But let's play this out. You put out a Facebook post the other day that frankly just hit different. And I'll just summarize what I saw in it. And then I want to hear about the inspiration. I want to hear about kind of that internal monologue that you're talking about. But basically, you only have 2 people that you have to impress. And, if you just look at that statement, a lot of people will think, okay, well, I know one is me and who else? And you're wrong. It's actually a very subtle twist, but an important twist. So I'll let you take it from here.
A lot of times when people talk about impressing somebody, they usually say you're not competing with other people, you're competing with yourself. You want to be better tomorrow than you were yesterday. And I've had a few conversations with my son as he's, coming into his own. And I can tell he's trying to impress dad. And I've tried to convince him that's not impressing me is not going to make your life better. So I was talking to him, thinking of a way to say this, and I thought, well, I'll just say it and put it on Facebook, because he's not on Facebook. He's young. That's for old people, apparently. And imagine talking to yourself when you were a kid, like kindergarten, first grade, your inner 7-year-old, and thinking, what did that kid expect us to be? Or would that kid be impressed with where you are now? And then that led to the thought of when you're 70, when you're older, when you're wrapping up things and you look back at life. The quote I think I heard on your channel was, if you live a good life, you enjoy it twice. When you live it and when you look back on it. It's the same thing. So you need to impress your inner 7-year-old and your inner 70-year-old. Think of those 2 people, because it's not your boss, it's not your spouse, it's not your kids. Impressing those people doesn't make your life better. It might be a good goal to do that, but if you can impress what you expected life to be like when you were a kid and have a life that you can look back on and be happy about, that's going to make your life better.
Well, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I'm going to ask you and I to think about our inner 7-year-olds for a minute. What did Dion think he was going to be? I mean, was Dion a superhero? Was Dion an athlete? What was Dion at 7 years old?
In some levels, I think my inner 7-year-old would be disappointed, because I expected to grow up and be an angry cop. I watched Lethal Weapon, Die Hard. It's the role models to be was the cop that just hated everybody but did the right thing. And
I'm getting too old for this stuff.
Right, exactly. Didn't end up really going that way. So I don't think the kid would be too happy. Kid never thought about money because we didn't have any.
Yeah, that's funny, because my inner 7-year-old was all about money. I mean, if one of the earliest things I remember is my mom asking me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I said a banker. My mom being
would have thrown me out of the house.
Yeah, my mom being the smartest one in the family goes, well, Michael, why do you want to be a banker? And again, I'm a 7-year-old. I don't really understand it. I'm like, Mom, that's where all the money is. That was the extent of my 7-year-old.
My dad always used to quote Bob Hope when it came to bankers.
Okay.
A banker is just somebody who will lend you money if you can prove you don't need it.
Oh, boom, boom, boom.
That was what he always said.
All right. Well, now let's flip the script and be Dion's 70-year-old. Right now, you've got years to go before you get there, but let's play it out. Right. This is a very thought-provoking post. What is the 70-year-old Dion thinking about?
I think at 70, I'm gonna be really happy. There's 2 things in my life that I will always be proud of, and it's not joining the Marines, going to Desert Storm, working in law enforcement, running a CDL school. Those were jobs I was paid to be there. It was, and this is super petty, I think, but maintaining custody through 2 divorces and raising kids as a single parent, guy or girl, I think somebody who commits their life to making sure their kids' lives are better. I have a lot of respect for that. And the second thing is, I didn't do this until 40. Like, I made it to 40 without ever having $1,000 in the bank. But at 40, deciding to focus on finances and finding a path within 8 years to where I worked another 4 because I loved the job. So 12 years of investing. And now from now until I'm 70, financial freedom gives you options. So whatever I do between now and then is going to be what I feel like doing, and not a job I have to do because I need the money.
Yeah, so it's funny for me to think about my 70 because, you said earlier that your father passed away on a job site. That's what I thought success was. My father had always said that they're going to carry him out feet first. And most of that's just because he was terrible with money. Let's be very clear. But I equated that effort, consistency, bringing home the bacon, whatever you want to call it, as what a guy was supposed to do, right or wrong. It's what I equated. So the fact that I stopped working at 45 probably would shock the hell out of. I never thought it was possible, right? If I think about Mike Zuber at 70, I thought I would be some mid-level, maybe upper-level manager running a team, probably still getting on airplanes, which I freaking hate every time. So again, as for most of my life, my 70-year-old Michael was working, right? It was never even an imagination that I would not be working for someone, because I'm not an entrepreneur, right? Some people I talk to, they're just naturally entrepreneurs. For me, I was raised, I felt I earned my ego being paid by someone else. Like, show me the rules, I'm going to go get paid. Show me the rules, I'm going to go get paid. And, so I've, when your post came out, I've had to kind of check, because again, even when your post hit, and it was like 3 days ago, I'm like, I don't even know what I think my 7-year-old wants now, because it's vastly different than what I thought my whole life. So that's why that post hit pretty hard, because again, you only got to impress two people, your 7-year-old and your 70-year-old self. So pretty cool.
I'm hoping some people sit back from that and also think, so yeah, those are the two people that if you can impress them, your life's gonna be better. Stop trying to impress the other people.
Yeah, exactly. That gives you permission not to do everybody else.
Especially when when you think impressing them is doing something that they would want that you don't care about.
Oh, yeah. 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 And if somebody wanted to follow you and see these posts that are just so thought-provoking, where should they go?
Find me on Facebook, send a message. I get a lot of friend invites from bots and fake people, but if you send a message, I will add you. And you can find me right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that might have been in the Three Amigos of FI. Was that where that one was?
That was in our public, well, it's a private group that you can get invited to, the Three Amigos of FI.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks, Dion.
Ciao.